Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrocco here. I hope everyone's doing great. So today's video, what I want to go over is something that I've been seeing asked a lot, and that's like where to focus on your grade haul. Obviously, this video is more so geared for like early game, mid game players, but I want to make it make sense for people who are a little bit later in the game and share my thought process and what I would do if I could go back and redo everything and what I'm going to be focusing on going forward. So the reason why I wanted to do this video, there's obviously a lot of these videos and a lot of videos on the Great Hall and making your priorities around YouTube, but there's been a few massive changes in Raid over the past few months that definitely merit, I guess, an updated video. So hopefully this can serve as that updated video. The biggest change that I think has been made is the Forge. Now, why the Forge? So the perception set specifically. Now, we've always had an accuracy set that's farmable from the campaign. You can get it from dragons as well. The issue with the accuracy set, though, before is that you only got accuracy from it, okay? And you need speed so much as an early game player. But now with the Forge, you can get plus 40 accuracy, which is literally an accuracy set. You can get an additional plus 5% speed, which is probably the two most important stats in the game for champions who place debuffs, and you can just get it from doing the faction wars. So hopefully by the end of this video, you can, one, understand the focus of your Great Hall and what you should prioritize when moving forward. And then number two, hopefully you can understand the value of actually doing your faction wars every day, because these fragments can be farmed from very low stages of the faction war. So you don't have to have a full team pushing stage 20s. So it's definitely worth doing, even if it is only a 4-star piece. Now, when you're doing this, what I recommend, this is not going to be a forging video, but what I do recommend is going for weapons, helmets, and shields. The reason why is because for those three pieces, you're not going to get variable main stats. It's either going to be attack for weapons, HP for helmet, or defense for shield. Nothing else. So the only thing you need is to set the substats, and the substats don't matter that much because you're getting a plus 40 accuracy plus 5% speed. So the substats can be mediocre or they could be great. That'd be awesome. But if they're mediocre, you're still getting very good set bonuses, especially for early game players. Now, when we're looking at the Great Hall, obviously there's a few things going on here. First off, your thing on the far right side, this tells you your arena tier. These bonuses apply to everywhere in the game. Clan boss, they apply to dungeons, everywhere. Arena, doesn't matter. If you want some more information, I'm not going to go over this in detail, but if you want some more information, go in here. Obviously, platinum gives the most. You get 5 medals per win, whereas gold 4 gets the second highest. And this is where most people are probably going to be farming. Gold 4 is getting easier and easier to farm in. It's maybe getting harder to reach, but it is pretty easy to consistently farm. There's a very wide range of players who are in gold 4, being very early or not very early, but there's just a big range, okay? So you got this. You can check that out if you want. Just hit this little I button. There's also an I up here, which, like I said, I'm not going to break this down. This will make the video too long, and I want to get the point across. But you got a bunch of information in here. You can go in, check it out, and it definitely could be valuable. But when it comes to what should you focus on in the Great Hall, there's no way I could give a set one specific, hey, you need to put accuracy for magic affinity onto your champions, because that just doesn't make sense. Everybody's account's going to be different. Me personally, I waited to spend my Great Hall, my arena, my tokens until I realized, hey, this is the route I need to go. This is what I want to focus, and this is what I'm going to put my stuff into. So initially, you can do your missions, follow along with those, just throw it somewhere. It's not a huge deal because it's so few points you have to actually invest. But to help you with your Arbiter missions, definitely do that. Accuracy, I don't think is a bad investment ever. I want to go through a few benefits of each of these tiers, but accuracy solid just to throw some points, just so you can progress through the things. And some of the missions have specific things anyways. Now, when I'm saying that I waited until I had a champion that actually made sense, for me personally, what I did is I ended up pulling Stagnite from a shard, okay? And then I decided, hey, Stagnite applies decreased attack, he applies decreased defense, so I'm gonna put my stuff into Spirit Affinity. Now, when I did this, the Forge was not around, so accuracy was harder to get. Accuracy is not nearly as difficult now to get as it was before. So obviously, this goes hand in hand with how much accuracy do you actually need. So obviously, if you needed 1,000 accuracy, yeah, it's going to be very hard to get, but you don't need that much accuracy. So for dungeons, it's a pretty safe metric, I guess, or measurement. You need about 10 times the accuracy as the stage number. So stage 1 or stage 17, you need 170 accuracy. Stage 20, you need about 200 accuracy. And then for stage 3, you need about 30 accuracy. So as you can see, the set bonuses from the perception set give you a ton of accuracy, especially compared to what you actually need in dungeons. Now, when we're looking at things outside of dungeons, I have a little graph, which is in my Discord, which if you guys want to join, it'll be linked down below. Also, don't forget to like on this video. And if you're not already subscribed, drop a sub. Very much appreciate it. It does help the channel grow. But this graph right here shows how much accuracy you need to land debuffs on the clan boss. The reason why I want to point this out is because this gives you an idea of how much accuracy you actually need to build up and how much you realistically need in order to push and actually allow your debuffs to land in these certain areas. So this is what it looks like. Brutal, about 140. Hard, 70. So you can right off the bat see, okay, if you have 2 perception sets, that's 4 pieces of perception gear, you have the speed, most likely that you need to go into hard. You need above 140 to go before the clan boss. And then you already have more accuracy than you need to land your debuffs. And that's not even including substats, okay? So you wouldn't have to wear an accuracy chest plate or anything like that. Now, when you're starting to push up into brutal, into nightmare, you'll probably have to do other routes. I'm going to assume that a lot of people watching this video, I'm not going to factor in, hey, you can get the banners from Spider, because banners take forever to get, especially accuracy banners for the specific faction you need. So let's just not think about those just yet. Obviously, when you're pushing into Ultra Nightmare territory, you're going to need that, especially if you're not going accuracy in the Great Hall. Now, since I want to focus on the Great Hall, let me go through a few of the benefits, okay? A few of the benefits through these different tiers and what I like to think about, okay? So first off, accuracy applies heavily to the champions who need it. So your debuffers, champions who decrease turn meter, champions who apply decrease attack, decrease defense, whatever it may be, champions who basically have some kind of effect like that on other enemies, they need accuracy to do what they do. So it doesn't apply to everybody, just debuffers. Resistance does apply to everybody. It has pretty niche uses overall. However, it is valuable. For example, if you are going to Spiders 20 and you want your Spider tank to resist the poisons, it may be worth it. And this is why I'm kind of mentioning saving up your arena medals until you actually need them. It may be worth it. And I used this at one point to dump resistance into your Spider's tank so that they can resist the poisons. You need about 300 resistance, I believe, to resist the poisons of those little spiderlings. Maybe 250 to 300, somewhere in that range. But at that point, it's actually worth it. Resistance also helps boost your overall player power, and you can resist some things in campaign, like if you're having a hard time of your Kale getting a debuff placed on him through the campaign, throw a little resistance on him, put a resistance chest plate, and you should be fine. Now, crit damage. It does not apply to every champion. I mean, it does apply to them, but it's not going to benefit every champion the same way. So this heavily benefits your campaign farmer early on, your arena nuker, which are most likely the same champion. Any champion who's geared for 100% crit rate, crit damage is going to help, but it's not every champion. The crit damage can be built up to 25%, resistance can be built up to 80, and accuracy can be built up to 80 as well. So all 3 of these tiers bring very good benefits. This is literally the equivalent of a tier 6 mastery, actually a little bit better. The tier 6 mastery, flawless execution, brings plus 20%. So we go in here, look at this mastery. This is only a plus 20%. And if you get your Great Hall to level 10, that's an extra 10%. So this is very comparable to that. Resistance replaces a resistance chest plate. Level 6-star chest plate, level 16, I think gives 96 resistance. So level 10 in the Great Hall is basically a 6-star chest plate just replaced. It's nice. Same thing with accuracy. However, when you look at the defense tree, the attack tree, and HP tree, this is all a flat 20%. This is not equivalent to any piece of gear. So gloves, if it's a 6-star piece of gloves, you're going to have, I believe, 60% HP, 60% defense. Same thing with the chest plate. So the attack, HP, and defense trees are very, very much lower in the value, in my opinion, what you get when you actually invest into them as far as being able to replace a piece of gear easily. Now, defense, this does benefit all champions. Defense-based champions, it helps them do more damage, and it helps them take less damage, of course. It helps your attack-based champions as well, helps them with taking less damage. Attack, however, only helps your attack-based champions. It does not help defense champions at all. HP helps everybody. Doesn't matter who it is. HP and defense help every champion in the game. Attack is more specific. So attack is typically the lowest ranked. In my opinion, the only reason why I would personally start investing heavily into attack is if I wanted my arena nuker to go hit very, very hard. Like if I already got crit damage maxed out, then I would start building into attack. Other than that, as you can see, attack is not something I focus in very heavily. Now, what I would do is if I could restart completely, is I would, like I said, save my arena tokens, my arena medals, until I have a champion who I actually want to invest something in. The two trees I would look at is crit damage or accuracy. For accuracy, what I would be thinking is if I don't have very many good pieces of perception gear, I don't have very many fragments to make that gear, and I have a hard time getting accuracy, maybe I should start investing in the accuracy. Investing into accuracy brings one massive benefit, is this allows you to take that chest plate that was giving you that accuracy and allows you to swap it out for an HP percent chest plate, a defense percent chest plate, or even an attack percent chest plate, which is a massive, massive difference. So adding accuracy onto your account, I believe, can definitely help you replace that gear and make huge, huge jumps for your team. Accuracy has kind of a soft cap in a lot of areas of the game. You really don't need more than 250 accuracy outside of things like high level Doom Tower, high level arena. Once you start moving into those areas of the game, then you're going to need more than 250 accuracy. But before that, if you're only focused on like brutal clan boss in those mid-tier areas of the game, brutal clan boss, dungeon stage 20, you're never really going to need more than 200 accuracy. Actually, looks like up to Nightmare is 170 accuracy. So 200 or less accuracy is never even needed until after Nightmare and then Doom Tower and late game arena. So keep that in mind. Accuracy has kind of a soft cap. Crit damage doesn't have a cap. You can build as much crit damage and you're never going to lose value from it. So having crit damage is very valuable. But early game, if you were to put this onto your campaign farmer, your champion who's also most likely doing the arena nuking and doing your dungeons, it's going to be very, very valuable for you. For example, if you're using Kale, put some crit damage on him, he's going to do better nuking in the arena, better dungeon wave clears and everything like that, because you're going to use him everywhere. So doing that is very good. But on the flip side of things is if he doesn't have enough accuracy, back to that, you don't have enough perception pieces of gear, you don't have enough accuracy stats on your account to land your debuffs, he's going to do significantly less damage on the clan boss. You're going to have a hard time on the dragon. So if you're finding yourself not having enough accuracy as you're progressing through the game, like I said, hold back on spending your medals a little while. You're finding yourself getting resisted a lot, more often you should. There always is a 3% chance to be resisted. But if you're finding yourself getting resisted a lot, then start investing some points into accuracy or try to forge some pieces of perception gear, get more accuracy, so on and so forth. If, however, you find yourself having very good pieces of accuracy gear, if you find yourself being able to use that gear, obviously, if you're wearing lifesteal gear as well, it's going to be hard to complete those sets. If you find yourself having a hard time getting that accuracy, then put some points into accuracy. If you're not having a hard time getting accuracy, I would recommend putting points into crit damage. Personally, I don't recommend putting stuff into resistance until you actually know you would need it and you have an actual use for it at that moment. When it comes to which affinity you should be investing into, this completely depends on your account, okay? If you pulled Duck the Pierced, the orc who does AoE, decrease defense, decrease attack, very, very good champion, I would say invest accuracy into magic affinity. I mean, it's going to be amazing for you. He has this ability with the provoke, this ability with decrease attack, decrease defense, very, very good. And then a decreased accuracy on his ability 1. I would start investing into magic accuracy. It's going to benefit your campaign farmer as well. If you're like me and you pulled Stagnite early on in the game, I would invest into spirit accuracy, because when you start investing into spirit accuracy, you're going to allow Stagnite to start placing his debuffs a little bit better. And then you're also going to be able to switch him out of an accuracy chest plate into a defense percent chest plate or an attack percent chest plate if you want him to do more damage, because he is a damage based on attack champion. So keep that in mind. Like I said, it's very much so based on your account, how you're progressing, and where you're at. It's not a one size fits all advice. So really give it some time, wait till you can actually see how your account's going, and then put the Great Hall medals into the area you need the most. Obviously, Like I mentioned a little bit before, you are going to be wearing lifesteal most likely through a lot of the early and mid game. So you're probably not going to be able to complete those perception sets, like using 3 sets of perception gear. You're probably going to be using 1 lifesteal set plus 2 pieces of perception gear. So hitting those high accuracy numbers are probably going to be a little bit difficult. So ultimately, accuracy is where most people are going to go and end up being, but there is a lot of benefit as well to going crit damage for your champions who are meant to do a lot of damage in those areas of the game. It's going to help them progress a little bit better, and it's overall going to help you through those areas like campaign, dungeons, and then arena. Mostly campaign farming and arena. Other areas, that little extra small percentage of crit damage isn't going to make a massive difference, but it can definitely help. I do heavily weigh accuracy though, even with the perception gear in the Forge. It just really depends on where your account's going. If you can sustain and survive against things like Clan Boss, if you don't actually need lifesteal gear on your champions, perception has so much value. But if you're needing lifesteal gear on your champions, you're only able to make 1 perception set. You're probably going to need those accuracy chest plates and things like that up until the point where you're getting enough accuracy to make those swaps. Let me pull up this graph one more time, show you the stats you need for the different levels of the game. And then to recap on the dungeons, you need about 10 times the amount of accuracy as the stage level is. So stage 20, 200, stage 18, 180. So guys, I hope that video helps. I hope it gives you a little bit more insight when it comes to picking out what you need for the Great Hall, where you should assign your medals, and so on and so forth. Thank you all very much for watching. If you want to watch one of the next videos that are about to pop up, feel free to click those. I hope you enjoy those as well. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.